It's gonna come in. We'll wait for
Recording is on.
There she is. Okay, so folks, welcome to this month's community call. Abby will hopefully be hopping in in a second here. But yeah, just a few reminders for our lovely monthly calls. It will be recorded, obviously. If you want to speak or ask a question, write it in the chat or raise your hand. And yeah, there will be notes, like some light notes with any links that are shared, along with the recording that will be shared after the call, probably tomorrow. But yeah, I guess we welcome back to reality for everyone after a week of awesomeness in Amsterdam. It was really great to see everyone who made it. And yeah, had a lot of really cool conversations, learned a lot, met a lot of cool folks, and yeah, now we're kind of getting back to it, and I'm excited to hear any updates that everyone has to share today. Yeah, I guess we can probably just get going. I don't know if maybe Link Finton would like to get us started, or anyone else. I guess we can also shake up the order here.
Go Finto.
He has to unmute himself. He should have access now.
We can't hear you. Maybe I can start actually.
Who?
While he
Who
figures this out. Oh, me, Julian.
Oh, Julian, yeah, go for it if you, yeah.
To keep the party rolling, you know.
The party rolling, yeah. So many difficulties. Yeah, Finton, we can't hear you, sadly.
Should I go, Finto? Still can't hear you. All right, then I'll go. Cool. Am I prepared? Yes. Cool. So I will basically, it'll be a short update this week. So I'm now presenting as the Workstreams team, which is now officially a core team. I mean, I've presented a few times already, but like we now are kind of doing this. We have our own little emoji in the Discord and the whole thing. We're going to post our updates here in the discourse as well. And yeah, like basically we've made it official. So yeah, let me read out what we did. So we've been, yeah, basically Jason, I don't know if everybody met him, the people in Amsterdam did, but Jason joined our team and is working our core team, at the Radicle core team, and he's working, splitting his time between right now Upstream and Workstreams. And that has really kind of kickstarted our work, and yeah, we've been just kind of doing much more to have since he's been joining our team, or you know, me basically, which was our team. We've doubled our capacity. Yeah, so what I'm going to do this week is basically I'm going to tell you kind of what our high-level mission statement is of Workstreams and what we're trying to do, and then also talk about the high-level next steps on like where we are and what's coming after this. Yeah, and then some extra things. So I'll just be reading through the update that you can also read. I saw that Shelly just shared it in the chat as well. Yeah, so our mission is basically to allow open source projects to pay contributors for open source work done through the Radicle code collaboration stack. So, you know, ideally, we eventually all pay ourselves through Radicle and also pay contributors that come out, like grants and everything, all through Workstreams. That's kind of like the high level goal and how we're going to dogfood it. Yeah, and the way we're doing this is right now we're working on a prototype, which is linked there. You can click around on it, connect. And we're currently building, we've built out the functionality that allows people to create a work stream and apply to them. We're doing this on a centralized stack. Jason can tell you more about our stack if you have any questions. We've decided to go down this route because it allowed us to kind of move really quickly. It's a stack that Jason's very comfortable in. And it kind of allows us to iterate in this first phase that we are and build at the same time, so we can kind of try it out, see what works, iterate on it, and then soon we can start sharing this with some of the teams that we want to work together with. More on that later. Yeah, so right now you can create a work stream, people can apply to them, and the person that created the work stream can accept the application. And then basically the next step would be to start streaming funds to the accepted applicants. For that, we're integrating with the DRIPS protocol. We're holding off to integrating with the DRIPS protocol until they've launched V2 on testnet. Apparently, that's happening pretty soon. We'll see as that evolves if that's realistic. Hopefully, we can integrate and demo at the end of or at the next monthly call. Basically, the goal is to demo the whole flow from creating the work stream, applying for it, and then starting a drip. And that's going to obviously be on testnet for us to kind of play around with this. So yeah, that's going to be exciting. Once we have that, we want to like think about how to move away from this prototypey centralized infrastructure that we are using now. The goal of that is really to like allow people to own their own data. So right now, you know, we're kind of managing this API. We have the keys to that, and it would be really hard for other people to use this as well. So yeah, we want to allow other Web3 projects and applications to easily move away, integrate with the Workstreams. The goal, like the reason we're doing that is because we actually want to integrate Workstreams then into the Radicle code collaboration stack, whether that's the web or Upstream, that's to be determined later on. Yeah, we believe that this, alongside with the drips as a compelling payment method, differentiates Workstreams from other Web3 payment services. Meaning that, you know, like we see that the uniqueness of Workstreams is really comes in when we kind of connect, you know, merging of code pays out a work stream, right? It's kind of like this code collaboration step, kind of tying in like, yeah, everything together. It's kind of what differentiates it from like whatever Parcel or all the other streaming tools that already exist in Web3. So yeah, that's kind of like the high level steps. We're going to be doing 1 and 2 quite quickly. I think 3 is going to be kind of taking a step back, and it's going to be a bit of work, moving away from the centralized stack, and then seeing how everything fits into the rest of the stack is going to be really interesting. But that's definitely the goal. The goal of this is not to be its own app. At least that's kind of what we have as a mission. We really want this to kind of be integrated in the rest of what we're building already. Yeah, why Workstreams? We're excited about Workstreams because we'd love to use this tool in a way to structure and pay our Radicle grants, and also eventually pay the Radicle core team as we transition to the DAO. And I'm bringing this up because I also see them as our main stakeholders for now and potential first users as we're kind of developing this tool. So also like Boredom and the DAO transition team, like we're going to be reaching out with you as soon as this prototype is in a good stage, which is going to be pretty soon, to kind of see what we already have, what's missing, and kind of how we can move forward. Oh yeah, and one more thing, it'd be nice if anybody has ideas about naming this, because Workstreams was kind of where it started, but I don't know if this really makes sense. We're not necessarily set on that. So if anybody has an idea, feel free to reach out. Cool. Are there any questions?
There's one in the chat from Finton.
Oh, let me see. Why you want to wait for V2? There's a few features on V2 that are going to be interesting to have. First of all, allowing multiple tokens is something that we, you know, are thinking about doing, although stable coins make a lot of sense here. But especially the thing that we're waiting for is being able to schedule a drip. So saying that, for example, imagine I hire you to do some front end on the Workstreams team through like a workstream, you know, your specialty. I don't want to just like accept your application and then all of a sudden it starts dripping. You might not be ready to do the work. We're probably going to be like agreeing on some terms of like, okay, I'm going to start like, you know, June 1st. Then I can already top up the drip, start like basically set everything up. You know, this is starting to drip in that date, and we can kind of get started then. So that's like an important feature that we see we want to kind of have from the beginning. Does that answer your question, Finto? Great, cool. Anyway, yeah, drop into our chat. We're there every day, hanging out. Cool. That's it.
Rudolph, could you provide a pronunciation for the name suggestion you dropped in there? Abby, can you speak? Are you able to speak on
Can you
this?
hear me?
Yes, amazing.
Okay, great. Okay, cool. I can speak. Cool, awesome. So yeah, so everybody just on the Workstream stuff will be creating like a Workstreams role as well. So Julian and Jason will get this cute little emoji next to their name as well to kind of like represent work teams, which is great. And we'll be seeing written updates on the community moving forward. So cool. Okay, so should we pass it off to, so Fintan, you were gonna go, but you were having sound issues as well. Are those resolved now? Let's see. You're still, okay.
Can you hear
Can you
me?
speak? Yay.
Okay, cool. What's up? I do not have a post right this minute because I got caught behind doing meetings and other work, but I plan to post one later. And it's also a bit of a slim update regardless because of the nature of the work and a week in Amsterdam. But essentially, myself and Alex have gotten to a decent point where we have a Git server working, and we played around with it yesterday evening. We were able to do a usual Git fetch and Git clone and Git push, and it all seemed to work. But there's a few warts that we'd like to fix before getting a patch series together. Yeah, it took a lot of time to get to this point because we hit a big snag on async rust and hitting weird deadlocks. So it's very unfortunate that that part of the ecosystem keeps biting us, but we battle on and we get things working eventually. Another update is that there's a patch that's pretty much ready to land for freeing up cobs so that delegates aren't the only peers that can change or add cobs or change cobs. So this shifts the kind of authorization logic onto the application developer. So that'll open up the floor for more applications to test out cobs if they're so willing to do. And then there will be a follow-up conversation on kind of a more freer format for cobs, but I think that needs to hit the mailing list once Alex has got his thoughts together. I suppose the other little update is that myself and Alex have also talked about trying to look to hire some people and get more people on the Link team. So gonna reach out to the network and see who's interested. I think that's about it. Any questions?
No, just a call out that when you have, if you have job descriptions or kind of an idea of who you want to hire, to feel free to send them over to me so I can kind of share them through our networks as well. We have like a job board that is in a bunch of different places, and we can, there's a lot of places that we can put it to help you guys out there. So just let me know.
Sounds good. Yeah. We still need to like put that kind of stuff together. It's been just mostly conversations and passing at the moment.
Nice. Oh, Alexi.
Yeah, also just the pro tip, the Reddit, the Rust subreddit is pretty good for finding candidates.
Yeah.
You have a monthly, well, not monthly, but every Rust release there's a hiring post. You can post them there.
Cool. Thank you.
Cool. Any other questions for Link? No?
All right.
Cool.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Fintan. Okay, so let's move it along to, I think I'll pass it off to Upstream now. Is someone from Upstream here to give an update? There's Rudolph. Hi, Rudolph.
Hey. Yeah, Kai couldn't because of some scheduling issues, so I'll be giving the update. Kai actually wrote a post already. I'm going to paste it here so people can read along. So what's new in Upstream? First of all, welcome Jason, who we half poached from Workstreams. He's been busy and already implemented one feature and is working on another one. So yeah. So last cycle, we basically focused on making Upstream compatible with the push-pull transport that the alt clients team built, and that's deployed with like the 3 seed nodes that are available. And we also tried to integrate like the CLI tooling more tightly so that we actually use the CLI for basically identity management, and so we can take some things out of Upstream so we don't I mean, we didn't really need this redundancy, and we also wanted to make it more like compatible and streamlined. Yeah, what else? Yeah, and along with that, so Jason rewrote the onboarding so that we actually detect what's installed before letting the user interact with the app. And we also have Apple Silicon builds now, and yeah, and we pushed out this release last week basically, so that now it should be working. And I mean, we were using Upstream internally for like development, and now we're gonna push also external people to try it out again, and hopefully some of our own teams will start to try it out and maybe use it for daily work. Yeah, and for that we were already talking to some DAOs that will try it out like as an early access type of thing, and we like sort of our next thing is to gather feedback on what should be improved. And yeah, so we have 5 DAOs lined up. One is Web3 UI, then there's B3 NZ, DevNode, and Bankless. So I think that was last cycle. And oh yeah, another thing, we also so previously we already extracted parts of the UI system that we're using in Upstream, but we still hadn't done like the last bit to kind of like make it usable in other projects, and we just packaged it up, and it's available, and we already use it in the Workstreams project. And so if any other team wants to use it there, it's possible now. So I'm just gonna copy some links here. That's the deployed design system, and there's a README how to set it up. Yeah, and then our current focus is improving patches. We realized that like the current implementation is very limited. We just wanted something that enables like our like a very basic workflow to try it out. But now we are realizing that yeah, like we can't really close patches unless we merge them, and there's some other limitations that we want to get around fixing, and that requires us to use a different like storage model, and we're going to try the SSB sort of event feed based storage for that. And yes, so Jason's working on the front end and Thomas is working on the back end, and that should be done soon. Would be really cool to try it out. And So we're using this patch statuses also as a test bed to further, the next thing after that will be we want to implement comments for patches, and if that works, then move on to issues and issue tracking. Yeah, and the last bit, we also disabled all of the org features in Upstream because we want to rethink how they work, and that's what we're currently working on as well. Yeah, I think that's all from Upstream. Any questions?
Awesome. Any questions for Rudolph? Nope. Cool. Awesome. Thanks so much for the links. Oh, hi, Vincent.
Oh, I can
Yeah.
unmute myself. Sorry. Is there anywhere, or where will you be documenting the patch design? Be interested in keeping an eye on it and seeing.
Yeah, I
come up
can look up the issue. I think we just have one issue so far on GitHub.
It's on GitHub, is it?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'll take a look there then.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks, Rudolph. So I'll pass it along to alt clients next.
And I will pass it along to Sebastian.
Thanks, Alexi. Yeah, we thought today it was Eric's idea to show some of the work, some of the progress we had with implementing patches into the CLI, and also we had some progress on patches and the signing with Ethereum protocol into the web client. So our idea is to start with Eric, show the CLI, and then show something on the web client. And yeah, it's kind of an interactive report. So Eric, if you want to.
Okay, now it's working. Yeah, hey everyone, nice to be here for the first time. And I will just do a quick demo, try to keep it short. And I will share my screen now. So, okay, you should now see a terminal, I think. So just let's just assume we're in the repository, and I want to create a patch that is compatible with Upstream. So I created one commit with a tiny change in it already. So we're on this feature branch. I just wanted to check which patches are there already. So I see, okay, there's one open.
Hey, Eric.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Never mind. It's there. It's there. We just, a few of us couldn't see your screen, but now it's there. We're good.
Okay. All right. So does it still make sense what I just said without seeing anything? Okay, cool. Yeah. So basically what you see here is a list of patches that I have already here in my project. So I'm quickly switching to Upstream so I can see the patches here as well. And now that I'm on this feature branch, I want to create a new patch. It tells me, yeah, okay, So it has one commit. Do I want to view it? So I can just see, okay, there's this tiny change that I made to a README file. And so, yeah, I want to create this patch. So it's called feature 3, just a tiny description. And I'm just gonna create it now. And the CLI also asked me if I want to sync to a seed already. That's important for the part that Sebastian is then now showing. So waiting for it to sync, and in the meantime we can also have a look here in Upstream. So I can see the new patch that I just created. So that's working nicely together. I'm seeing, oh, okay, there's an issue. Let's see. I can just sync. Okay, cool. So now this is synced, and I can go to the web interface that Sebastian is also working on. And now the patch should also show up here. Yeah, so here we have patch number 3 with the feature number 3. Yeah, I think that was it, like from the CLI patch workflow. And I think I'm just then handing over to Sebastian.
Okay, thanks, Eric. Well, let me share screen now, and we'll go right on where Eric left off. So please tell me if you can see it.
Can you make it a little bit bigger, please?
Make it bigger. Yeah, I think that should be possible. Is it better now?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Okay. So we are here on the same project. Yeah, the CC demo project where Eric just created the third feature patch. And we have here, like inside the same project view, we have this new patches button to the commits button, where you can see the amount of patches. Then if you go like inside these patches, you see all the patches. The ones merged are not like interactive. It's just to show that there was a patch. We have to see how we eventually, because once merged, we don't have like the commit history. I mean, between the commit tip of the feature branch and the base. So, but eventually we'll figure something out. And then the open patches, we can go, you see also from which peer it is. Like this is Eric, the delegate peer, yeah. And if we go into one of the patches, you can see then there the commits from that patch. Also, we have something new here. The verified commits is a little bit nicer, more similar to GitHub, where you can see not just that it's verified, but also the name of the peer and the ID. And then, yeah, then you can go into the commit, see the commit, browse to the project on that commit, which that's nice, something to fix. Yeah, but we're still on the same commit. Yeah, that's on patches. And then also if we are on a seed, for example, my seed, which has like this feature now, we will have a new button to like connect with that seed through Ethereum, which like if you click on that button, if the demo gods are with me, should be, yeah, like your MetaMask or whatever will show you the sign with Ethereum message. You can sign it, and then you see there a session has been created between the seed node and the browser. And yeah, once we have new protected routes where we can change settings on the seed node, this would require a session to be established beforehand. So yeah, that's and then once the session is established, you have eventually up here or somewhere like a list of seed nodes you are logged in, and you can like wherever you are, you can like browse to that seed node and eventually do some administrative tasks you need to do, or yeah, whatever. So yeah, that's from the all clients part. If you have questions, feel free to. So I don't think if it's me. Sorry, I can't hear you. Not sure if it's me or.
And does somebody have a question? I guess I didn't hear. Oh, Abby, yeah.
I think Abby was.
Uh-oh. Okay. All right. Then I'll take over again for a sec. Any questions for the lovely All Clients team? Oh, Jason's question. Jason.
Right. Yeah. The patches are 100% compatible. They're on the same like prefix, and as Eric showed, he was showing the patches from which he created on CLI. He was showing it in Upstream.
Cool. All right. If there aren't any other questions, then wait. We have another one.
On Yorgos' question, the links is not something that is yet implemented, but we are looking to have some kind of show in Upstream or view in Upstream button to like a deep link from the web interface to Upstream.
Cool. Abby is
Can you
back.
hear
Yes, you can.
Great. It's just my mic, my headphones died. Cool, awesome. That's really awesome. The only call out I would have is that it would be really nice to tell people more about how they can use patches in Radicle.network, and maybe just a call out to figure out, how we could do that, whether it's through an onboarding guide, a demo, some tweets or something. So maybe that's something we could chat about sometime.
Sorry, we actually have an onboarding guide. Maybe I'll share it in the chat.
No, for patches, but also for Radicle.network and everything, for all the stuff that all clients just showed. But yeah, like we have this mirror post blog that we could post things to, and so happy to help collaborate on that. But yeah, Rudolph, maybe send it because I haven't seen the onboarding guide recently. So.
I think maybe I could add here that I think it makes sense if we then already add the merge possibility. So there's like a rad merge command that we would then use. So if you create like the patch, and then you will get like the URL and then the patch name, for example, and then you could just like copy that into like the rad merge. And if this like package is there, I think then it makes like, at least for me, the most sense to put it into the guidelines, because right now it's like half done. I don't know how the others feel about it. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, definitely. If we can make things full done, that would be awesome. And then we can package it. So just let me know how we can support there. But it's really awesome to see. And thanks for sharing this, Rudolph. This is definitely something that I'll start sharing with other people as well. But cool. So I think any other questions for all clients? No? Okay, then we'll keep it moving to drips.
Awesome. So yeah, just want to say nice work, everybody. Those demos are looking really cool. The code collab stack is really starting to look good. Let's see, and echo what Abby said. The more we can get this into like docs, so that people can and like demos, so that people can like really figure out how to start playing with it. That'll be huge. Let me try to share my screen. Let's see, can you all see that?
Yeah, just maybe get a tiny bit bigger if you could.
Sure, yeah. What's that?
Looks great.
Okay, cool. So this is on the Radicle.community. I just posted it this morning. But lots of exciting stuff going on. First of all, it was awesome to see everybody last week at DevConnect, both from the team, but also just so many people from the community. I gave a little talk at Global Governance Gathering, and had some people from the community show up. So that was quite fun. All right, so I feel like I've been giving a lot of these sort of same updates for the last couple months. Obviously, development continues on Drips v0.2. We are actually getting really, really close now. The main features are, this is going to be a big upgrade over v0.1. We've got multi-token. scheduled drips, and then hub identities. All of these are pretty much totally done and in testing. Maybe a little bit of work still going on scheduled drips, but I think that these are all pretty much feature complete at this point. And we're really just doing a kind of final review of the overall architecture and design to make sure there's nothing we want to get in before we go to code freeze pretty soon. So there's a few little things we're looking at, but I think we're getting really close now. So meanwhile, in the drips app, Everett's been working on rolling out a version of, this is just back in v0.1, but kind of bringing in some of these identity changes that we've had in the pipe for a while. It'll be nice to get this in before the big upgrade. And this will just kind of improve the experience around social identities. I know there's a lot of different like identity changes. So these are the ones related to allowing just sort of changing communities to be called memberships and have them be sort of more flexible. And then also allowing any user to attach social identity to their user profiles rather than just previously, or even now, that was just the communities that could do that. Now it will be sort of any user. Security audit. So we're starting a first we're kind of going to do waves of security audit. We're starting a first one basically as soon as we code freeze and roll out the v0.2 stuff. That'll probably be in about 2 to 3 weeks. We have an individual auditor who's going to be doing that, working with manual, and then a much larger full security audit scheduled with Trail of Bits sometime in the summer. I think maybe it says June there, but I think that's actually probably more like July. And then we're also looking at some, there's a project that we are talking with that Manuel just told me the name, but I now forget it, but they do, they basically do kind of rules-based automated code analysis. We're chatting with them as well. So we might get some of that going as well to get more of almost like a regression security test suite set up. The Drips SDK, this is something I've been working on, hacking on for the last couple of weeks. We're very close here as well. Shout out to Matt for helping, kind of jumping in from the growth team to help on the code side with some of the kind of JavaScript tooling challenges. But I think we're getting close to v0.1. We've got a couple teams that are eager to test this. So if anyone else out there is interested in being an early tester, give me a shout or give the team a shout in the Drips Dev channel. Ecosystem. So had a chance to meet with the proposal inverter team actually at ETH Amsterdam. They are moving forward. They're excited to build on Drips. So we're going to be kind of syncing up with them on a monthly basis and just excited to see how that develops. They're sort of gaining momentum now. I think they kind of got some of their funding and they're just getting started. So that'll be exciting to see that take shape. And then as Julian mentioned, Workstreams is starting to build on Drips. So he gave a bit of more info in his team update. I think I actually have a slide here somewhere that I can, from their team that wasn't what I meant to show. Okay, well, maybe I don't have a slide of that, but they're doing a lot of good stuff on the Workstreams team, and yeah, excited to see more of that in the future. So I think that's it for my update. Yeah, anyone have any questions? Let's see. Can't see the here we go. Wow, lots of comments. Okay. Satora is the name of the
Julian?
Yeah, I have a question. You're still sharing your screen, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. I can stop sharing my screen.
So yeah, my question is actually related to Workstreams. There's like 2 things that have kind of popped up as ideas. One we've already talked about, which is the idea of pausing a drip. So, if you imagine like I start working on a grant for like a stream rate that gets streamed constantly, it would be really nice if I, for example, get sick or I go on holiday, that I can like pause the drip for a week from both sides, both as a creator of the drip or creator of the workstream, as a kind of applicant or like worker side. So that's something we already discussed. I know it's on your radar, but I kind of wanted to call it out here. A second thing that came up that was kind of an interesting idea is this idea of being able to start and stop a drip, not just pausing it, but kind of like clocking in. So you can imagine that, I start working on a grant and there's like an amount of money in there, and then I can actually just come in at 9 a.m. and start my drip. And then, the stream rate then doesn't need to be calculated like for, 24/7, basically is kind of the way it works right now, but you can actually then have this kind of like, stream while you work kind of way of working, which obviously would be quite tricky on layer one. I mean, something that we kind of realize that, you might be if you do all of this on chain, which kind of is how I imagine this would work, that would be quite complicated. But anyway, some things to put in your radar, like the pausing is definitely something that keeps popping up, and is definitely interesting to hear you all think about. Starting and stopping would just kind of be like an interesting thing. I don't know if you've thought about it at all, or if these types of things are not even possible.
Yeah, nice. Well, Manuel looks like maybe has some thoughts on that. So
yeah, and maybe I can even take this one. So basically, it's working that I can pause it as the sender, but in your case, it would be actually like the receiver is saying, stop, I actually don't want to get funds anymore. And we also got this request already from another team, that would like to have it, and we currently working on the idea. We might, it basically means like you can stop it, and then the money will be kept in the sender's account in the end. Like that's what we're adding. And basically, with the start and end of drip, with scheduled drips, it will work as you described it. You can basically start and end it. So you can basically stop it also in between. And then you say, okay, it's 3 months, but I stop in between, and after 2 months, I'm starting it again. This would also work. Yeah. Hope this answers the question.
And would that happen on chain then?
This means like currently it means because everything is in Solidity, there is a smart contract. It would mean basically you need to make a transaction and actively saying, okay, I want to stop. I don't want to receive these funds anymore. Or like from the sender perspective, I want to pause like now for 2 months and start this later on.
But so you wouldn't be doing this like pause every evening when you stop working and start every morning again when you start working again. It's not like you would pause this. You would, the idea of clocking in.
This would not work most likely. Then it makes more sense to basically adjust the rate, like assuming you're working like 24/7. What would be like the depending on 40 hours per week thing. Because this would be like too expensive to basically like but I see what you mean, like basically this on and off. But then maybe it makes more sense to track this somewhere else, and then you make the payment at the end of the month. If it's more like this time tracking use case, I think Drips works really nice if you know in advance how much somebody should get for a grant or something. But if it depends on some time tracking, it might make sense to first track the time somehow, and then later on use a Drip or a one-time payment.
Yeah. Although I'll just add to that quickly. I mean, on Polygon it's pretty cheap, so I mean it would be like pennies to start and stop. So I think for Polygon it probably would be feasible to do the kind of things that you're talking about, but maybe on a kind of like daily, hourly basis. But on mainnet, as Manuel said, it might be kind of prohibitive on the gas side.
Yeah, cool. That's cool. Actually, the pausing would actually allow both already. Yeah, nice. Thank you.
Cool. Let's see. So
Boredom also had a question. So Boredom, maybe
yeah. You mentioned for the SDK, there's some teams that are interested in using it. I was just curious if you have a quick list of some things that were floating around from people who wanted it.
Who are interested in drips?
Yeah, in the SDK.
Or the SDK specifically. Okay, yeah. So I think the main one is Wonder. We've been talking to them, and I think they're pretty excited to move forward with playing with it. Obviously the proposal inverter guys, I think those are probably the two main ones. There's been a few sort of smaller teams and stuff, but yeah, and then obviously Workstreams also. Let's see. Okay, and then a couple updates on the security. The Satora is the name of the kind of code analysis, automated code analysis company, and then or project that we're talking with, and then as Ellie mentioned, it's actually sort of more end of the summer, probably more like August with Trail of Bits, but TBD, obviously. Let's see. Julian, I think Julian, you have your hand up again. Did you want to add something?
No.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, and all joking aside, we are super excited about all the stuff that the Workstreams team is working on. So psyched to see some of the first prototypes. All right. I think Ellie said rad drip happened on ETH Amsterdam. Oh yeah, there was a cool. This is worth quickly mentioning. We had a team hacking on yeah. So there was a team hacking on drips and the CLI at ETH Amsterdam. They're building basically a example of how you can. They're basically trying to add a CLI command that would allow you to create drips from the CLI. Really neat idea. I think if they don't actually, I don't know what their plans are for the future, but if they don't build this out, I think this would actually be something interesting for us to build out. But they were sort of proof of concepting this, and really kind of a neat idea that you could have drip creation inside the CLI. Let's see, Boredom.
Yeah, I'm gonna meet with them tomorrow. They were curious about getting funding for a grant, so I think maybe for that we could try getting them to start with it, and then maybe do some kind of similar sort of, I don't know what they'd need, but maybe like a monthly call with them as well, if it makes sense. And like generally when I tell people to do grants, I try to get them to do it in like iterative milestones that can have successes. So like even if they're only able to finish like half of it, like it could be something that you guys pick up like after they stop doing it, or maybe they finish it.
Yeah, that sounds really neat. I think if we're gonna move forward with that, it would make sense to try to, I think initially in the hackathon, from my perspective, it's just cool to see these two things like put together, these two like really neat kind of radical technologies. I think maybe we could start, if they wanted to do this grant, which sounds really exciting, we could maybe do kind of a brainstorming session of like, all right, what use cases like make the most sense to create drips from the CLI, and then try to maybe optimize around that a little bit with the use cases in mind.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And then that might be a nice iterative, like first milestone would be just the brainstorm and the kind of like design space. But I'm sure other people probably have a lot of ideas as well already. Nice. There's a link. Abby linked it here. So if anyone wants to check it out.
I linked their submission, and it also has the source code and everything. I'm super happy to hear that they already reached out. I think that's like the exact pipeline that we'd love to see with hackathons, which is people getting a really awesome idea to build something and then having that streamlined directly into a grant and have it turn into something really cool. So happy to know that you guys are on it. And it was really, really awesome support from the Drips team. Also from a growth team, Matt, everybody who was there, like helping them, and Alexi getting it together. I felt like that was like one of the first like quality, hacks we've had, and so it's really exciting. I think that's definitely like the goal with these hackathons. So
yeah, it was really great, and I'll just mention as well, they're a really nice, kind of fun, positive team to work with, and quite smart as well. So yeah, hope we can get to collaborate with them more in the future. All right, let's see. Any other? I'm just kind of scrolling through the questions here, but there's a lot of kind of comments. So if there's anything else that we didn't cover, maybe someone can shout it out. Otherwise, I'll pass it back to Abby and Shelby.
cool. Awesome.
Going once, going twice. Okay.
I'll keep it moving since we only have 7 minutes and some people have to hop at the hour. So I'll pass it off to growth, and then I'll end with a quick community update, and then Boredom, if you want to talk about grants quickly as well, we can do that if we have time. But Matt Nassar said that you would take the lead today. Can we hear you?
Hey, can you hear me? Sweet. Hey, for anyone I've not met, I'm Matt, working on the growth team. Yeah, Naz couldn't make it today, so asked me to step in and give the update. I think this isn't on the forum yet, but I can share my screen and pasted the link. So yeah, there's a few high-level topics. The EGF, we've been building out a strategy, and we've had one small funding proposal that was a travel sponsorship, and there's another couple open in the pipeline. So one is the early contributor program. It's around the co-collab stuff, and then the other is with Women Build Web3. So we're chatting to them to try and work out the details with that. Radicle co-collab. We've been building a group of beta DAOs to work with and onboarding them into the product. This is what Lucas has been working on with the Upstream team. And this is related to the EGF stuff. And then on drips, we've been working with Dripstream to bring in partners and try and drive some more integrations. So Wonder is one of the teams we've been working with. We had other conversations with Prime and one other team, and yeah, we're pushing to find some more there. Contributors, we've onboarded Lucas, and then I think Lucas is in the call, so maybe after this he can introduce himself. And Shannon started this month, so Lucas has been helping getting her onboarded too. We've also been chatting to a couple of people about working on DevRel related things, so hopefully we'll have more updates on that next month. Partnership stuff, this is stuff that I've been working a bit on, trying to work out. A part of it's like conversations we're having with different people with potential partnerships, and then also we're trying to kind of work out our higher level strategy around this and how exactly we want to approach it. So we'll probably end up doing kind of all this as a bunch of proposals, maybe over the next month, proposal to the Treasury to try and establish some of that stuff, and then we'll be posting some draft proposals with the people we've been speaking to. And then the last piece is around narrative. This is what Brim has been working on. This is kind of narrative for the DAO and the product, which we had a workshop at the offsite around this, but I think everyone kind of agrees that it's quite an important part of moving forward. So yeah, so that's the update from this month. I don't know if anyone's got any questions. And also, is Lucas in the chat? He was here earlier, but I don't know if he's still here. Oh yeah, he is here. Can you mute him?
If you're speaking, I can't really hear you, Lucas. It kind of sounds muffled.
Sounds very quiet, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's
yeah,
better.
just about.
Okay, yeah, nice to meet you all. Excited to join the team. Yeah, reach out to me if you have any questions. I'm in New York, from Argentina. Yep, happy to be here.
Welcome. We had a question from Kai in the chat for Matt, which is, how did we see the partnership with Wonderverse going? And are you looking at them as potential users of the platform or possible integrations into our products?
Yeah, yeah, we're trying to work all that out now. They are looking at a drips integration, so that's where the product integration is. And then how do we see it going? I mean, we're speaking with them about a potential token swap, and this kind of ties into us trying to work out what a higher level strategy is with all this stuff. So, did you want to speak, Kai?
Yeah, I mean, you can first.
Say again.
You can finish
first if you're still speaking. So yeah, sorry. The reason I asked though is because I took a look at their product and I really like what they have. It looks really cool, and it's actually a pretty good synergy. I think we're one of the features that we're looking on for Upstream is just the idea of issue management, which kind of plays into the whole project management suite of features. And so, yeah, the reason I was asking is because I could see us looking at ways we might be able to even integrate with their product at a deeper level if we don't want to build out those features ourselves, maybe, or we want to leverage some of what they have. It might be worth a conversation.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and we wanted to set up a chat with them to talk about some of these deeper integrations and kind of how the direction of the product, I guess, going into the future. Not only integrations, but like more like what their product direction is and how we can. We've been chatting about stuff around kind of composability of their design, and depending on that, I think these integrations are going to be more or less possible. So these are kind of conversations that we need to have with them. So if you're interested in getting involved in that discussion, then I can loop you into those calls.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, I'd be happy to just to find out a little bit more.
Sweet. Yeah. Okay.
Andrew?
Yeah. I just thought I'd throw in a quick comment. I mean, to kind of give people more detail how they're looking at. I think it's a neat idea, Kai. I think there's a lot of integration possibilities in the future, but as far as how they're looking to use drips to start, I think has some similarities to what Workstreams is doing. But it's use cases like paying contributors who are not looking for one-time payments, who are looking for more streams. This is kind of a thing we're seeing across the DAO tooling space, people being interested in this. There's especially some stuff around kind of incentives alignment where this could work well for longer term contributors. And then for vesting is like a big use case where Superfluid has seen a lot of adoption, and I think where these kind of streaming protocols are like strong in general. So they're interested in just supporting these as options for their platform. But yeah, I think lots of possibilities in the future. That's just sort of a starting point where we see synergies right away.
Cool. Yeah, if there's no other questions, then back to you, Abby.
Awesome. So we're a little bit over. So if anybody has to hop, feel free to do that. Again, everything's recorded, so you'll be able to catch the last of it. I'll stay on and just I'll give Boredom a chance to give an update on grants, and then I'll give a hyper quick community update. So again, feel free to drop if you need to, but we'll stay on for probably only like 5 more minutes to discuss. So Boredom, I'll pass it off to you to give an update from grant side of things.
Cool, thanks. Yeah, this will be pretty quick. Just wanted to call out 2 things that were mentioned earlier. I'm super keen to be a first user once other ERC20 tokens can be used. The motivation there is we'd like to do a one-time drop, like a pretty big one, to a few protocols that help with various things that grants programs need. So for example, like Sybil or just basically anyone who's helping with the governance side of things. And then I'm also super keen, like whenever there's really early version of Workstreams, to like start giving feedback and trying that out. So just keep me in mind, reach out whenever it's ready. I'm super happy to try it out. Then a few things, doing 2 meetings this week with some groups out of the Amsterdam hackathons. So one was a CLI extension that was mentioned. There was another one that was, I guess, a finalist for that one of the hackathons that was working on token gated communities and wanted to try using that with drips, which sounded really interesting. And another thing is that like lately there were like a few blogs and videos kind of with tutorials on how to use various Radicle products. So I'm thinking to put together a plan to allocate some amount of budget to retroactively fund people who make sort of blogs and videos, and not really publicize it too much, but kind of let it be like a word of mouth thing. Like, you know, people just start seeing that, like, if someone makes a really nice tutorial on how to use our stuff that kind of like gets at some particular issue, we just kind of throw money at it and say thank you. That's it for me. Yeah, thanks.
Cool. Any question for Boredom and grants? No? Awesome. Yeah, also echo that. Very cool idea. So I'm excited to see that happen. And we should definitely talk about it on Twitter and stuff for them when we have it up. Cool. Yeah, awesome. Louis, thanks for that update. I can touch on that in the community update now. So I haven't gotten a written update yet because I took off on Monday and was traveling back to Berlin from Amsterdam. But not too much to update because the last couple of weeks have been devoted to kind of planning everything that just happened at DevConnect last week. So a bunch of us got to hang out IRL in Amsterdam, and it was really awesome. I think it was definitely the most Radicle contributors we've had in one place at one time since the early Monadic days. So I really love the energy, and it was really fun to be with everybody. The only regret is not being able to have more time to hang out with everybody because of how busy all these conference things are. But because of how well it went, we've kind of decided from the foundation, the community team, that we want to host these offsites and gatherings every 3 to 4 months to keep up the vibes. So hopefully the next one will be coming in July around ECC. And hopefully we can get some more, outside of the core team, more community contributors as well. So we'll be planning that. It'll be, hopefully, it'll be more planning, more earlier planning. So we'll have more time to make sure that we get as many people as we can there. But so the biggest thing is that we hosted this like informal contributor offsite last week, which was really awesome. We had a bunch of different breakout sessions focused on different topics that contributors wanted to discuss. So the main follow-up from that I'm sending an email out about as soon as I have time, is that we'd love to take the outputs of those those sessions, which were notes and kind of general, musings that people collaborated on, and push them to radicle.community. So people who weren't at the offsites can see what was chatted about, and so the people who were in those sessions can use it as an opportunity to kind of figure out if there's any themes or action items that they wanted to implement within their own teams. So I'll send out an email just like with guidelines for that. But just the goal would be to kind of like take the notes from the session. Everybody had a dedicated note taker for each session, and kind of turn that into a post that was like, this is what we talked about. This is what came out of it, and this is where we'd like to go next from it, and use that to kind of spur more conversations digitally with the team. Kai, did you have a question on that you wanted to hop in on, or?
No, sorry, I was trying to clap.
Nice, thanks. I also have some great pictures. It was super fun. Really excited about that. We also hosted a lot of events. We had our, one of our first like quality submissions in a hackathon, which I shared as well. And we also had a bunch of talks. So we had around like 5 talks, I think, last week. Usually it's just me speaking at these. So it was really awesome to have like a bunch of different people speaking about Radicle. And I'm super excited to kind of have this happening at more events in the future. So I'll share a written update with some more links so the people who weren't there could go check out the talks, the hackathons, and all of that. So that was really exciting, just a lot of planning. So I think that I'm a little burnt out from everything that happened last week, and definitely interested in getting more support for planning in the future, which leads me to my next point, is that I just actually posted 2 more job descriptions, specifically one for a comms manager to support with social media and some immediate marketing things, and a community and events coordinator to kind of do all of the coordination work that goes into making these gatherings happen. So I'll push that to discourse, but if people could share through their networks, that would be really awesome. And in terms of what's coming next, so as Louis mentioned in this chat as well, there's been a lot of work happening with regards to the transition to the DAO. For everybody who was at the offsite, I gave a little presentation on that walked through the work streams and what this transition is. So we'll be jumping into that this month as well. We have multiple temperature checks and discussions that will that are in production as we speak. That are regarding the next steps for the transition, what this means for contributors, what it looks like, and some of the other work that's going into that. Angie and I are working with Louis, a contributor from the community, to start scoping out an initial organizational design and starting to run one-on-one interviews with our contributors. So that'll be really exciting. We'll be reaching out to you all for that. Shelby is currently doing a big consolidation of the demos that we've been having with different DAO tooling providers in the community. So there will definitely be some interesting discourse posts to get engaged with over the next month. So I would definitely keep your eyes out for that. So yeah, that's all I had for an update. I'm going to try to put this into a written update and get this up today. But yeah, general, really awesome community vibes. I'm trying to get more people on the team to support more community initiatives. And I'm super excited for everybody who wasn't at DevConnect to hopefully see you in July around ECC when we plan our next gathering. So that's it. Any questions for me? Let me look at the chat. Event was lit. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And Brandon, yeah, you should totally, let's poach that person and scoop them up. And yeah, ECC is an upcoming Ethereum event that happens in July in France, and it's really awesome vibes, similar to DevConnect, and it's kind of going to be probably DevConnect just like a little bit bigger. So I think it could be a really good opportunity and timing for us to have more vibes. So we'll be sponsoring and ideally doing a contributor offsite, but maybe a longer one, like 1 to 2 days instead of just half a day during the conference. Cool. So yeah, I'll end there. Do we have any community updates? So Louis, you said maybe next time we could chat. Yorgos, do you have anything that you'd like to update on? Or anybody else? I can't see who else is here. Okay, I can allow you to speak.
I can, I guess.
Hey.
Hello. Well, just actually maybe a quick update / invite to folks who might be interested in contributing to the UX research we're doing as part of one of the Radicle grants. We're working on some designs for an IDE plugin for Radicle. We have some early designs, and we're now looking for people who use one of the JetBrains IDEs to test those out and go through a few tasks. I've sent a link in one of the channels in Discord. Might be worth sending it out again, I guess. But yeah, we have, I think, the first 5 people or so, and we're still looking for more. We're hoping to get up to 20.
Nice. Do you have the link handy? Do you want to share it in this chat right now so everybody who's listening can grab it?
I'll probably share it in the community channel and Discord because it's a bit of a longer text.
Sounds good. Awesome. Okay, cool. So I guess we'll end there because we're almost 15 minutes over. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. I think it's good when it goes over. There's just so much to talk about, which is awesome. So as always, Shelby will get the notes and the recording up ASAP, and we'll plan on meeting here in a month and talk to you on the internet. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, folks.
Bye.
Have a nice day.
Bye.